I'd still like to add stars to our flag, and Canada does seem ripe for the picking. Maybe we just take Saskatchewan and Alberta, because the fact that they don't want to become part of America makes me want to make them.
It reminds me of this sports guy I worked with, and I couldn't stand him. Last night, Jesse Waters ran a truly bizarre segment in which he very creepily argued for the takeover of Canada. Sound like anyone we know? It gets weirder than that. Let's watch Jesse Waters pout during his interview with Ontario Premier Doug Ford, because Ford didn't immediately agree to an American takeover. In Canada, Premier, we should remind you, is the head of a territory or province.
Yeah, what's your problem with the United States absorbing Canada?
Well, first of all, Jesse, you know, I love the U.S. I love Americans, and I get it. You know, President-elect Trump is a real estate tycoon. He's made billions, but that property's not for sale. We can come together on a great trade deal. We're two greatest countries in the world.
You say that Americans don't have a problem with Canadians, and we don't. But it seems like you have a problem with us, because if I were a citizen of another country and I was a neighbor of the United States, I would consider it a privilege to be taken over by the United States of America. That's what everybody else in the world wants, American citizenship. For some reason, that's repellent to you Canadians. And I find that personally offensive, Premier.
Doug Ford, sober in his interview with Jesse Waters, not playing along with the nonsense. As you can tell, the right wing is having a blast with Donald Trump's statement about annexing Canada, annexing Greenland, annexing the Panama Canal, and renaming the Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf of America, because that's top of the list. That's super important for him. Trump has repeatedly jabbed at outgoing Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, calling him, quote, governor of Canada. It's so juvenile. Yesterday, Trudeau hit back, writing this on X: there isn't a snowball's chance in hell that Canada would become part of the United States. Workers and communities in both our countries benefit from being each other's biggest trading and security partner. But for what it's worth, Maggie Haberman, one of the most prolific reporters on the topic of Trump, stated that Trump's statements on annexing Canada are just trolling.
Yeah, I think everything Caitlin said is correct, especially on Greenland. These things are not all the same. Panama is a relatively new focus of his, as Caitlin said. Greenland, not only has he been talking about it for some time, but a lot of people have been talking about it for some time. This idea of acquiring Greenland for strategic purposes has happened, for decades. And a close friend of Trump's suggested it to him in his first term, Ron Lauder. It's never totally gone away. But Trump is clearly in an expansionist mindset. He also keeps talking about Canada as a 51st state. That is clearly much more of a troll and sort of a dominance play.
That's his favorite thing to do. I think it's also how he distracts, right? He doesn't know anything that's going on around him, okay? He doesn't know what's really on his agenda besides getting the J6 choir out of jail to sing at his inauguration. He really doesn't care. So what he does is he just distracts. It's like when he has those press conferences with reporters. And when he's boxed in, he just starts calling them out, right? Getting really personal. And so I wonder what you think about this. It's not as though Justin Trudeau, the outgoing prime minister, roasted Trump when he posted to X. He did. Canadians are so polite, and it was kind of polite. But why even go back and forth with this guy?
I just wonder. I mean, obviously, this is all theater, I think. I mean, at least as far as Jesse Waters' part of it is 100%. He has the stupid smirk on his face. Yeah. And still, it's like recited lines. It was pre-written to ask the questions the way that it is. I wonder if everyone has a problem with the United States and we don't have a problem with anyone else, and everyone else wants to be like us, why wouldn't you? I think that wasn't pre-thought of and pre-written. Come on. So it's a show, and that's number one for people like Jesse Waters, and many people probably on cable news. It has to be the show. And then so when we're talking about actual maybe legislation or policy that they're looking to pursue, we got folks that are talking about it like it's fun and games, and he's just trolling and joking, which he probably is, because he comes from that same batch of folks that think this is all fun and games, except with the power and the money. And so, look, Jesse Waters doesn't care. He's just talking, and he thinks he's having a fun moment on TV. So the fact that Justin Trudeau had to respond with any seriousness, and I believe the Mexican president, she responded, I think, trolling back, talking about, renaming a part of the United States, because obviously where it came from. So that's probably the best response when it comes to it. But what I'm trying to figure out is all these folks who are not celebrating Gulf of America, yeah, more slogans. I'm just waiting. Where's the explanation behind how renaming the Gulf of Mexico? I mean, he's trolling. The Gulf of Mexico to be the Gulf of America. What is that doing for your gas prices? How about those eggs and bread and milk? I'm wondering when child not healthcare, but child costs.
Child care.
Child care costs are going to go down based off of these types of things. I'm trying to figure out when these folks who said they voted for Donald Trump so that their wallets and that their dignity can come back, when that's going to all be affected by this sloganism of taking Greenland, taking Canada, again, BS, and then renaming the Gulf of Mexico. Where's the connection again? Because you've been fooled into thinking that it's more slogans so that you can be fed with that those empty names, and then you go back to giving them all of your money. So, hey, have at it, bro. But the folks that you think you're laughing at are actually laughing at you.
That's right. Trump and MAGA are the new Ringling Brothers. Maybe it should now come back and go on the road again. 3-ring circus and just keep people entertained. You have Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's popping up saying, oh, it's a brilliant idea. Okay.
God.
And I said earlier on TDR, I don't even think she's so dippy. They don't even have to get together and clue her in on the plan. They just kind of drop a little breadcrumb and she picks it up and can't wait to introduce this. She says she's going to introduce this right away. It should be the Gulf of America. Okay. What a wonderful idea. It's a circus and it's all a distraction to keep us poor down at each other's throats, while they steal more and more and more. And we're asleep at the wheel, at least a portion of us, and we let them do it. I'll give you the last word.
Sharon, did you hear, I think it was part of this press conference this week when he was talking about the Gulf of America and all that stuff. A reporter asked him, are you willing to send troops or have a military intervention in order to get the Panama Canal? And he said, I can't rule that out. No, I can't rule that out. I can't rule it out. He said it like 2 or 3 times. I can't rule out military intervention to get the Panama Canal. I remember the same guy who looks a lot like his face during the campaign said, I'm going to be a non-wartime president. All these warmongers that are running against me in both parties are all about war, sending your sons and daughters off. So again, MAGA, I'm wondering why you're okay with him openly boasting about using the military, and Pete Hegseth, who won't stop saying lethality, lethality, lethality. He says it so many times. Where's the outrage against him wanting to continue to use your sons and daughters for his own purposes? I'm just trying to figure out when you're going to finally stand by the things that you claimed you voted for him for. That's all. I'm just waiting for it.
I wish you luck with that. You're gonna be waiting. Mr. Bone Spurs is going to do what he wants, say what he wants, and then when you call him one, he's going to say, what a nasty woman, or what a nasty, hey, little guy. That's just who he is. You misremember that. You misheard it. Whatever. It's a joke.